let me dispel a misconception that is out there that is often hawked by people who don't know what they're doing. Somebody trying to sell you a structure. Don't buy into this. False it. It's 100% protection. There's no such thing as 100% protection of your personal assets. Okay? As Damien said, they could sue you personally. So, and this is coming from somebody who does both. I protect businesses and I pierce the corporate veil. I've done both. Okay, so I've worked both sides of this. And this is how it works. Let's say that you have let's say you're a landlord. And you have your business, you have your property in the name of a corporation. Okay, you're trying to preserve that property from any lawsuits. So you have it in a separate corporation, but you are supposed to be doing the management. You're doing the management of that company on your own. Okay. Now, if you do something personally that you should not have done, so if you do something personally negligent, then a corporate veil will not protect you, because what they're going to do is sue you personally for what you personally did wrong. Now, what do I mean by that? If you're supposed to fix the roof, if you make yourself the manager of that property, and you are doing all the repairs yourself, and you repair incorrectly, they're going to sue you personally because you did something personally wrong, and they're going to sue the company too that owns the building as well. Okay, but keep in mind that you have to understand this is called separating the asset from the risk. Now, there's a number of strategies you can put into this, and I don't want to lose you all and have you just glaze over, because right about now is when people start to doze off. But let me briefly tell you what separating the risk from the asset is. If you go to an attorney who knows what he's doing, what he'll do is he'll say, look, you bought a house, you want to rent it out. The house should be in its own company, so that if that company gets sued, the only asset at risk is that building. Now, if the company that owns the building also does the maintenance on the building, then you have what we call a combined ownership and risk in the same company. Most lawsuits will come because somebody didn't maintain properly. Okay, it'll be a loose shingle, or the concrete goes up wrong, somebody gets injured. And so, if you have the maintenance of that building in the same company as the building, if the maintenance people do something wrong, then the building is at risk for any lawsuit judgment that comes. Everybody following me, or have I lost y'all? Okay. So what you do in that situation is you form a separate company, a management company. And the management of that property, those who do the maintenance, those who decide, make the decisions as to the renters that are coming in, the renters that are going, the management of the property is a separate company. And the only thing in that company is a few desks, maybe a computer. The main dollar asset is not in that maintenance company. The main asset, the big value asset, is in a separate company that's protected. Okay? So that when they sue, then the judge is going to say, who's at fault? Well, it was the maintenance company. Well, the maintenance company is this company. So why do you think you can put a lien on this property in a separate company? Okay, that's the ideal we're trying to do. We're trying to put that corporate veil and keep it strong so that they can't go from one company and pierce it to the other company. Worse yet, if you're personally doing the maintenance. If you're personally doing the maintenance and you didn't even set up a company to do the maintenance, well, now your personal assets are on the line. They're going to sue you personally, and your personal assets are on the line. So keeping the corporate veil strong means you have to treat it as something different. You cannot treat it as an extension of yourself. You need to do the formalities that's been talked about today. You need to nurture the child, as I like to tell people. What do I mean by that? If you just set up the company, and I've had some people set up a company and never paid proper taxes on it. They're not. If you don't, I've seen people set up a company and then not go get their business licenses, or talk to the tax people, or do what they need to do to make that a separate entity. They just think, I'm going to set this thing up on LegalZoom and then I'm just going to go do business. You're inviting a real problem when you do that. And I've seen it. I've seen it. Doctors. Right now, I have a case right now with a doctor who set up his own business and didn't spend the money to find out how to do it. He may practice law just fine. I don't know, but he doesn't know how to run a business. And he's right now he's had 2 corporations. Another thing you need to learn, I got a minute left. One thing you need to learn is you need to know what the regulations are for your industry. That's another big problem that I see. And this doctor didn't understand that we have a law called HIPAA. And HIPAA says you cannot share patient information. So this doctor set up 2 corporations and wanted to save money, so he got one computer system that he put the patients of both companies in. Okay? So now he's got 2 unrelated companies sharing patient information. It's a major violation of federal law. So the judge is going to disregard that. He's going to treat those 2 as one. This doctor had hoped that he could put his assets here and his liability and his risks here, as I talked to you about before, but he didn't understand the regulations. So it's going to be illegal for those 2 companies to be anything other than one company. And the judge is going to make one company. It's still in litigation.
That's a privacy.
It is. It's a HIPAA violation, and they could be in trouble with the feds, but I don't deal with that. I'm dealing with what he thought was 2 companies, and the judge is going to say one. And by the way, the same doctor wrote checks to his employees out of his personal account. So he's, So pay attention to what they're teaching you today. It has serious consequences for you. Yes?
I was going to say, her and I actually, to go back to talking about SCORE, they have like a generic business outline. I mean, it's not anything like, I would not go to a lawyer with just that, but at least it has an outline where it tells you what you need to research. So like regulations, it has a section for that. So at least you know that you have to look for what that is in your industry. Or licenses, or that way it gives you a guideline. That's what we use. So.
The fact that you're here shows that you're not going to make most of the mistakes that I see. Most of the mistakes I see are people who don't come to things like this. They don't try to educate themselves. They don't do the research they need. They don't hire the people they need to hire. The fact that you're trying to find out how to do this shows me that you have a greater chance of avoiding problems than those who don't. Now, I will tell you, you can do all the right things and still get sued. Okay? You can do all the right things and still get sued. Some people will sue you just as a business decision. Some people want to put you out of business and they'll sue you. And so that's what can go on. Now I'm assuming that's my time is finished alarm. I am about a minute over, but thank you for letting me come here. It's been a pleasure. Thank you very much.